Welcome to my latest podcast series, One Life. My name's Terence Wallace, and I'm the writer and publisher of a weekly essay entitled Indelible Adventures, and I'll be your host. This podcast series sets out to prompt and challenge your thinking about life and what it means to really live your life. I'll share with you my insights and personal experiences with the sole objective of getting you to reflect and think about your approach to living your best life. So let's get started. This week's episode is entitled No Perfect Life. I would argue that the concept of self-belief is one of the constant and most important touchstones in my life, and has definitely kept me afloat during many times of stormy weather. Our ability to believe in ourselves, even when things aren't going our way, is in my mind one of the most important traits we can possess. Arguably, there are few things less powerful in the world than a person who is 100% committed and believes in themselves totally. A great case in point was when I started my own business back in 2014. After developing my business plan, I shared it with a few trusted people. Almost to a person, they said it would never work. You're trying to do too many things, they'd say. You can only do one thing. As you can imagine, I was feeling a little disappointed with their feedback, and even for a split second I thought about adjusting my plan. But something deep inside me was elated. I was going to prove everyone wrong. Realizing that if I was going to make this work, then I would have to work incredibly hard to push all facets of my business plan, and not just one. And not just initially, but all the time. This was going to be a monumental task, but I was definitely up for the challenge. This acid test, or moment of truth, is one of the things that I most value to this day, because deep in my heart I knew that this was the path towards the life I'd always wanted. The reality is that there's a fine line between self-belief and confidence in your own abilities and overconfidence or false bravado. Self-belief must be supported by focus, perseverance, and hard work to be successful. Without these other aspects, then you're placing yourself in danger of overconfidence and possible failure. Now here's where it gets interesting. For many people who have never had their own business, it can be a bit of a shock in that the lines are blurred between working and all the other parts of your life. To be clear, there is no 9 to 5 anymore. You're on all the time. There's no question that it takes a lot of energy and stick-to-itiveness initially, but once you're in the groove and you reshape your life to accommodate your new reality, then things settle down relatively fast. People often ask me how I balance all the aspects of my life and business into what seemingly looks like a perfect life. Well, let's be clear, there is no perfect life. What's perfect for me is not perfect for you. Everyone's idea of perfection is vastly different. As an example, no one gets to see all of the hours I work. They just see the outcomes. Yes, I work incredibly hard. I write every day, almost have my camera with me continually, seeking places to tell my story. But for the most part, you mostly see me traveling the world and exploring and having fun. But as I said, these are just the outcomes of all my hard work. Ultimately, it's about showing up every day, no matter what, even the days when you don't feel like it or you need a break. I always try and focus on the big picture and how, where, and when I want to live my life. Interestingly, most people don't think about when I want to live my life. For me, it's an everyday proposition. However, for many, it's, when I retire, or when I have enough money, or some other excuse. I know it sounds a little cliche, but life is for living every single day. As I've said many times before, there are no guarantees to life. So I choose to live every day to the fullest, doing the things I love. The way I live my life is not for everyone. This type of lifestyle is not for the faint of heart. And there have definitely been times when I've questioned my sanity. But I've always found that the freedom and overall enjoyment of my life far outweighs those times. Yep, by a country mile. One of the most difficult parts is figuring out what you're good at and getting to the point where you're able to build a life around it. There will always be the unknowns, and this is where you have to take a leap of faith and test your self-belief to the fullest. It takes a lot of courage and self-belief to make the move so that you can create the life you want, the perfect life for you. I'm living proof of it. When I speak, there are usually two things that people come up to me afterwards and say. The first is, "Oh, you're so lucky, you have a perfect life." And as I said here, I say to them, luck has nothing to do with it. This is the life I've created. This is the life I've chosen to live on my terms. There is no perfect life. Well, this is my perfect life, the one that I've created. The second thing people often say is, "Wow, I wish I could do that, but I have a mortgage, I have kids." Excuse after excuse after excuse. To which I reply, I have a mortgage, I also have kids, and yes, this is the life I've chosen on my terms. I guess what I'm saying is, to create your perfect life, you have to do it on your terms, in your timeline. Taking someone else's approach and using that as a template for your own life is really not the way to go. Taking those lessons that others have learned, absolutely, and being able to craft and create your own life, the perfection of your own life on the things that you want to achieve and have in your life, that's really where the rubber hits the road for you. I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes by Henry Ford. And it says, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Those are pretty powerful words. Just take a moment to reflect on those words, because you hold the destiny to create the perfect life for you in your own hands. If you'd like to learn more about Indelible Adventures and the products and services we provide, please take a moment to visit my website at www.indelibleadventures.com. Indelible Adventures is one word. Thanks for listening, and look forward to hosting you again soon. All the best.